Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be Unperturbable. Coach Corey Wayne versus a pickup artist. So I've got an email here from a guy. He's been following me since 2015, about 6 years, I guess, at this particular point. And he had gone out on a first date that went well with this woman he liked, and he had hired a dating coach or a guy that's a pickup artist. And so the guy gave him some information that conflicted what he's obviously learned from the coach and 3% Man. And it didn't feel right. It seemed a little odd what he was being told. And so he went with what he learned from me. And he successfully seduced her on the second date. So he goes kind of into detail the exchanges he was having with this woman, because it wasn't easy to make the second date because she was in and out of town, and then she kind of left him hanging, didn't reply right away. And what I like about the email is that you really see how, because you understand women are always trolling men to test them. They want to see, do you just lose it when you don't, or they don't reply right away, or they don't do what they say they're going to do. I did a video, I think it was last week, called Loving Indifference. It was based on an Edgar Cayce quote. And it just totally lined up with a Thich Nhat Hanh quote of, you must love in such a way that the person you love feels free. And so the idea is loving indifference. It's like, you're cool either way. If you're driving the fun bus and you're making multiple stops and picking up fun people, cute girls to hop on the fun bus, if somebody doesn't want to get on or they want to get off, it's like, hey, no problem. Maybe they get on down the road at a different stop. Either way, you've decided ahead of time that you're going to be happy, you're going to be calm, you're going to be relaxed, and you're going to be excited to see what shows up next. And so this is really important, because a lot of guys, things go sideways. They have a good first date, the woman doesn't reply right away, or she's got something going on with her schedule. And because they're insecure and they're trying to force things, they get upset that things don't go the way they want to. And they're like, hey, why haven't you replied? Hello, is anybody there? And so they start sending multiple texts and they get upset. And so they communicate that they're totally perturbed. And then the women just never reply after that. And it makes it really easy to weed out the betas from the alphas, the undesirable men from the desirable men who have their shit together. And so it's, I mean, you can see just things could have gone either way with this. And so the guy did the right thing and obviously got the right results, because as I say all the time, even if you think I'm full of crap, if you apply what you learn in 3% Man, Mastering Yourself, Quotes, Ruminations, and Contemplations, my third book, you're going to get great results. You're going to improve the results you were getting on your own. So with that said, I got a quote that I wrote, and then we'll go through his email. And the quote says, being calm and remaining calm when you don't feel like it is a masculine superpower. It's the height of having and maintaining emotional self-control. Women love men who are in control of themselves and not easily rattled. This makes it feel safe and comfortable for women to experience the depth of their emotions with the blanket of safety that men have the potential to provide. Loving indifference makes the difference. To love women however they show up, as long as they are being respectful towards men and their healthy boundaries. To love in such a way that they still feel free to come and go and be who they really are. Something to always remember, and the way I look at it, and it's a masculine way to look at it, it's like whether it's your mother, your female coworkers, your friends, your girlfriend, your wife, your friends' kids, women that are with you as a man are also under your protection. And it's your job as a man to provide a blanket of safety so they can express and be who they really are. It doesn't mean that it's okay for them to be a lunatic, but it just means that you make it safe for them. Because when they feel safe around you, they feel safe to be submissive, to be vulnerable, to be extremely feminine. And if they don't feel safe around you, then they're going to avoid you. They're going to move into their masculine, because they don't feel safe. So let's go through his email. He says, "Hi, Coach. Big fan. Wanted to tell you of a recent experience I had with a woman that resulted in success after listening to your advice over a pickup artist. I might not always be right, but I'm never wrong. I say it all the time. I always break people's balls about it. If you watched any of the health series that I did with Chunky and Gracie, I'm pretty much right 100% of the time, even though it's frustrating, especially for Gracie, me being right. Because one of her core values when we went through her list of things that are most important to her is that she likes to be right. And obviously the coach is pretty much always right, so it's fun. It's fun to troll each other. But if you guys are into health and the things I talk about and mastering yourself, I took them through the 30-day challenge, which is the smoothies, the green juice, the nuts, the salts, the way I eat, the diet. And you can see they both look great. They both had problems with acne and skin problems, and they cleared up dramatically when they were following the protocol. And they felt better, and they looked better, and they admitted it. Begrudgingly, in Gracie's case, but I'm used to being right, so. But it's a cool series if you're into health. I know most people kind of, you can look at the view count on those things. Anytime I talk about health or other things, other dating relationships, people are like, they just don't care. Which is sad, but it's just a sad reality of society. People just don't want to work out. They don't want to take care of themselves, even when it feels better. Like I have the same struggle with my own family, trying to get my dad to continually juice. He's just lazy. Doesn't do it. He feels better. He comes over to my house. First thing he does when he comes over is go straight for the fridge to get some green juice. But he won't make it for himself. Anyways, back to our regularly scheduled email. I've been listening to you since 2015 and listen to your book regularly. And since I've had a lot more success with women, I'm fairly introverted. So I wanted to get better at flirting, bantering, and escalating. I paid for a dating coach, and some of his advice has contradicted yours. I went on a first date with a woman a few weeks ago, and it ended in a few makeout sessions. She texted me after saying she had a great time, and a few days later she texted me again saying, "What are you waiting for?" Obviously she really liked you. That's a good sign. She's bothered that she wasn't hearing from you. And if she wasn't bothered, it would have meant she didn't care. But the fact that she's like, "What are you waiting on? Let's go. Let's do something. Let's make something happen." That's good. This is what you want to see. I asked for and so he's thinking, "Hey, everything's looking great." He says, "I asked for a second date, but she said she was going out of town and maybe Sunday if I'm not wiped." So when you refer to 3% man and you try to make a date and you get a maybe date, you don't take the maybe date because you're busy. Your time's valuable. And she's going, yeah, maybe I'll hang out with you. If she's like, then you're going to be like, definite plans or withdraw the offer. And she had another trip the following Wednesday. I said I was busy Sunday because he said no maybe dates, but I could do it on Tuesday. Otherwise, we can wait until after her trip, which shows that he's in no rush. Like Rumi said, slow and steady like the river that never grows stale. No hurry, no rush. Loving indifference. Either way, he's cool, he's happy, like I talked about the fun bus analogy. Maybe she'll meet us later on down the road at another bus stop. The right people will get on at the right times. She didn't respond to my text, and instead, so she left him hanging on purpose, obviously, because she's used to doing this with guys, because this is usually, when they do that, they just don't respond right away. That's usually when the betas lose their shit and freak out and start sending multiple texts and getting angry and upset, and they blow it because they're perturbed. You have to be unperturbable. That's loving indifference. You're cool either way. Instead of getting butthurt or chasing, I sat back and didn't text her, as I knew this was probably a test of her strength and ignoring me was rude, so why chase? Remember, hang out, have fun, and hook up. The hangout part of this, it means a definite date. So she wasn't willing to make a definite date. She never responded, so you do nothing. Because dating is tennis. The other person's got to hit back over the net. She didn't hit it over the net. And if you have abundance, if you have plenty of other choices and options, and you just simply understand what's in the sweet little blue book, you're not perturbed. You're not worried. Because it all works out in the end. Besides, you want to be with a girl who really likes you and really wants to be with you and makes the effort. And there's also a chance, you never know, there may be another dude in the background, an ex-boyfriend, a guy she liked more. Who knows? The following week, she texted, "I really did want to see you again," with an exclamation point. So remember, she's saying she's on a trip. It's kind of like, hey, go have fun. I only went out on one date with this girl anyways. And he said, "I know, I could tell by our kiss. We can hang out again after your trip." I told the pickup artist all this, as she seemed to be uncertain about me, and he thought I was being too logical, sticking to logistics, and his advice was to text her a picture of a rooftop view that Saturday and say, "I have a better weekend view than you," and tease a little after that, and then leave her last text on read and wait until the following week to go full assault and ask her out. So I understand why the pickup artist is telling him to send a picture, because you're trying to paint an image of how much fun it's going to be with you. And the reality is, girls just want to have fun. I did a video titled that years ago called "Girls Just Want to Have Fun." And so the pickup artist is saying, hey, you paint the picture of how much fun we could be having together. But the reality is, he's trying to make a date. She's out of town anyways. She's not real cooperative. And it's a man's job to be direct, decisive, and get to the point, not just leave it up in the air. Because when you just leave it up in the air, you're in essence letting her take control of the fun bus and drive. And women don't want to drive. They don't want to be in control. They want you to be in control, no matter what they do. You don't just give them control of the bus, because then it goes down the ravine, which is not good. So he says, this advice seemed weird because if she was just seeking attention, why give it to her? I mean, at the end of the day, she's out of town anyways. So why send... Because to me, sending a picture of, hey, my weekend view is better is kind of... It's almost like seeking her approval. Hey, you should be with me. You made a bad choice. As opposed to, eh. So it's how, when you look at texts, like how big are your texts versus hers? If you write these long texts and you get 1 or 2 word answers or 1 line back, you're investing more energy than the other person is. You want to match and mirror that. He says, instead, I waited until Monday and asked her out. She said yes to the second date because, again, she's out of town anyway, so nothing's going to happen. And the second date ended in sex. Who knows if listening to the pickup artist would have caused rejection, but staying with the Corey program proved successful even when the girl was testing and wishy-washy. That's why when they're wishy-washy, it's loving indifference. You're not bothered either way. You know she's out of town. You're trying to make a date, and she's kind of leaving it up in the air. So you just get back to her later when you know she's in town. Try to make a definite date then. Because if you're in sales, that's what all good salesmen are taught. You got to get the prospect in front of you so you can sell them face to face. You can't do it over the phone or the internet. They're buying a car or something, or a boat, something they got to physically touch or sit in or test drive or come down and fill out paperwork for. You got to get them face to face. And that's why he knows she can't get face-to-face for a week anyways. So why put all this extra... Because the other thing you gotta look at is she's leaving him hanging. She didn't reply for, like, I think it was a week. So she's not in a rush. Why should you be in a rush? She's not making you a priority. Why should you make her a priority? Why should you send her a picture of where you want to take her, where you want her to be if she's not reciprocating? You got to match and mirror the woman's actions. So if you got a question or a challenge in your personal or professional life, you'd like to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book a coaching session with yours truly. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.